you, Tom, for that music. Thanks everyone for coming up for the UES presidential debate slash Q&A.
It's more like a job interview.
Job interview, yeah. So just as a heads up, this is going to be recorded in 360 cam. If anyone doesn't want to be recorded, I guess step away.
I gotta go.
So I'll get up to Khalid. Good luck.
Thank you guys for coming to the job interview, as I like to think of it now. My name is Khalid Backtash. For those of you who don't know me, I'm in third year structural engineering. I'm doing the international development option in my program. I really enjoy it because it's given me a chance to kind of see the value of engineering and how it can be applicable to developing countries. I came to Western in 2004 to study medical sciences. I finished a 5-year program in medical sciences and physiology. So when I came back to engineering 3 years ago, I wasn't planning on standing in front of you guys and asking for your vote to be your UES president. I was more worried about getting along and adapting to school with students 8 or 9 years younger than me. That was like my biggest concern. I used to be very anxious of not being liked by other students because I was older. But honestly, when I came in, it was first year materials at 8:30 in the morning. And soon I realized that you guys are the most dedicated, hardworking individuals I've ever been around. Medical science was a little bit cutthroat, a lot of competition, not a lot of help. So when I actually saw people were friendly and nice, it was a shock at first. I didn't know how to deal with it. It was weird. I can't explain it. For example, in the design course, when Kelly Sexsmith came and told us about co-op opportunities in first year, I was like, this is so exciting, so refreshing to actually see the faculty, the staff, the students care about each other. That community feeling, it really made me feel a part of it, and I felt like I could actually do stuff to make an impact. So Catherine in the VP Social came to her materials class to promote the social director position for first years. She actually came here, and I talked to her about it, and she was super nice and super friendly. In my 5 years in MedSci, I never met anyone from my student council, not even my year rep. I didn't even know what they did, which is scary. I know Elaine's a little bit shocked. So I can't even imagine coming here and talking to the president. For me, being a high school, even for a lot of you who come from high school, I don't know in what capacity you guys were involved with. I wasn't super involved. So 5 years of being at university and finally actually seeing my student council being so approachable, being so caring, it actually made a huge impact on me. So I applied for the social director position, and one of the things they asked me what I would do differently, I was like, well, I'm a returning student, there needs to be more programming for them, there needs to be more promotion of events, for example. There was a first year professor meet and greet, I didn't hear about it. So they asked me, what have you done about it? And I kind of stopped, I was like, nothing, what can I do? So when I thought about it later on, I was like, this is the environment where you can actually do something and they'll support you if you have the initiatives. So unfortunately, I didn't get the position, and I was like, damn it, the system sucks. I'm not going to get involved again, but I was wrong. I applied for FYIC. I got selected to go to first year integration conference. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I met other students from other schools who shared the same ideas and the same interests as I did back then. They were all super eager to get involved. The sessions there were very helpful. Some of the things were things I wish I knew in first year. I was kind of in first year, so it helped me a little bit, but when I came back, I definitely see the advantage of everybody in first year going through that session. The other sessions were, for example, how to run effective campaigns if you're interested in running for positions. So when we came back that next year, a lot of us actually applied whatever we learned in those conferences, and we were running for exec positions, for commissioner positions, for director positions. A lot of the students I met there are now leading their student councils at their respective schools. We have those connections now that I can reach out to another school, whether it's McMaster or Ryerson or Ottawa or Carleton, because we know executives at that level on a personal level with them. One of the best things that I got from that conference was that you should stretch your comfort zone. You don't necessarily have to do something that you're not comfortable with, so you don't have to step outside of your comfort zone. You just got to stretch it a little bit. And Jake did a great job when we went to that conference, because he was like, you're not allowed to stick with your engineering friends. You got to go and he's like, if I see you with somebody from Western, you're in trouble. So it helped me a lot network with other students and getting to know them and like have a good connection with them. In my second year, I applied to be the outreach commissioner, and then I ran into Jason after the interviews were over. And he was like, unfortunately, you didn't get that position. I was like, oh, damn it. And he was like, but we think you'll be better as the Commissioner of Academic Services. It was a fairly new position, so I didn't really know what to do. I kind of read over the bylaws and my job description, so I kind of went with it. I did what I thought the students would benefit from. For example, I'd been to Kelly, and she helped me with my resume. I was able to secure a co-op position, and part of the credit goes to her for helping me with my resume. So I thought it'd be best for Kelly to be in a room and have a workshop where other students could benefit from it. A lot of the questions I had were basic, were about formatting, about whether I should include something or not. So Kelly was able to reach a larger number of students in a less amount of time, and then so that she has more time to answer more of those serious one-on-one questions. I attended a talk by Jeff Watson at by the Student Success Center on how to approach employers at career fairs. I reached out to him later that year. I was like, I went to this talk, it was super helpful. I'd love for you to come to Western Engineering and have that talk for our students. Those are some of the things I did as Commissioner of Academic Services. When I was running to be the VP Academics, some of the ideas I had were, again, more academic related, just about you guys creating, make sure you guys have the services to have that edge. I know we don't have co-ops and internships here, and some people think that we should. I've talked to employers who do hire from students from Waterloo, and they believe that students who do co-ops, they get really good at doing interviews, but they don't really have the skills that they need for that job. So it's great the way the school is structured here in engineering at Western is that those who want to do a co-op and internship, they have the opportunity, and then employers are excited to have our students because we're not forced to do it. It doesn't become this obligation for us to do it. So I did the co-op. It's a great working experience. Anyone who's considering it, I highly recommend you guys to go out there and get that work experience as well. We tried to do a career fair for you guys, so targeted for engineering students. The outcome of that was that the career fair already is hosted by Western, so there's no point in hosting another one. So we have a new program called the Industry Spotlight. So we talked with the career services here. They identified 4 different sectors that engineers could work in. It's IT, consulting, energy, and then manufacturing. So we're trying to set up those networking sessions for you guys so you can have those one-on-one interactions with employers, whether it's just getting to know them, getting to chat with them, and then potentially those contacts could lead to employment opportunities later on for you guys. Academic services, I think there needs to be a little bit more done for first years, especially those who are off campus. Those who are in residences, they are very lucky to have the support in the network of each other. I was off campus, but then I worked a lot at Essex on my first year project. It's really good to see people study in those study rooms or work on assignments together. First year off-campus students kind of miss out on that. So we tried to work with Dr. Bartlett this year a little bit to organize or even introduce first year students who don't really know each other, but as soon as classes are done, they go home or they go to the library, but they don't meet other students. So focusing on first year students so that they can network with other off-campus students and provide groups for them so they can have study sessions, whether it could be also at a residence, so they can kind of get a little bit of both worlds as well. The other thing would be extending the super tutor programs. They're a great resource, but unfortunately they're a little bit underutilized right now. As a lab mentor in my second year, we were supposed to hold office hours in residences, but we weren't utilized as well. But I think the super tutors could definitely benefit from being closer to first year students who live in residences or even off campus. We could have a more accessible location for them. As I mentioned, conferences are already a hot debate for the last year, and it seems to be again the finances of it. Firstly, I don't think I would be standing here in front of you guys if I didn't go to FYIC. Perhaps if we invested a little bit more in students going to conferences, we'd have more competition here instead of just me talking to you guys. Maybe we'd have 2 or 3 or more students who would have the same passion, who would have the same opportunities to develop on a personal level so they feel confident enough to stand up in front of you guys and ask to be your leaders. The great thing about conferences is that it does give you that personal development, but then when you come back, you impact more students. Actually, I ran into Bailey on the hallway, and she was like, don't think that you're being selfish by going to these conferences because you grow as a person. Because when you come back, you impact, whether it's the UES, whether it's WEC or WECA, or another another organization that you're involved with. So the impact of these conferences is much greater than what some of us who haven't been to these can think of. Networking opportunities with other students. CFES is very involved with lobbying for students, whether it's tuition, whether it's working with CAB on accreditation. And Western has been very fortunate to be active with CFES on a national level. We have national ambassadors, we have counselors, we have execs on the team in the past. So definitely having those ties and connections, a little bit of it comes from hosting conferences and going to conferences. So if we kind of not go there, we lose that connection. Also, we're hosting CFES 2017. It's a great opportunity for Western engineering to have the national spotlight. We're going to have national sponsors. A lot of companies will be here, and you guys can work as volunteers. You guys can have networking opportunities with these employers. So the benefits are a lot greater than what most of us give credit to these conferences. The other reason why I'm standing here is Catherine, that brief interaction that I had with her. And I've told her so many times that I think she's fed up with it now. Like, she tells me to stop giving her credit for it. But I think it's something that we should all do, give credit to somebody who's impacted our life in a positive way. At the end of the day, the way I look at things is whatever I do, I think of the best interest of all students. So at the end of the day, if I impact at least one of you by the end of my year, I think I've done my job properly. So if you guys have any questions, I'll take them now, whether it's about my platform or anything else.
Does anyone have any questions for Khalid? Alright, I'll ask a question. What are you going to do differently this year, or this upcoming year, than council this year?
I think the UES has done a great job of being more visible since I first started Western Engineering. I think Tom and the rest of the exec teams have been very visible during the faculty day, during orientation week. We've been visible at other events. I think a little bit more visibility can go a long way. People knowing us, who we are, and what we look like, so they can approach us. As VP Academic, I've been fortunate enough to actually be a little bit more visible, whether it's on Facebook or just meeting students in person. A lot of people know me as the guy who posts stuff on Facebook, so I've been lucky that students know me. They've been able to approach me with their academic issues, so hopefully continuing on that and being more visible so students feel comfortable coming to me and talking to me about whether it's a problem or a suggestion. The other thing that I think we can improve on is the efficiency of our UES council. Getting a little bit more organized in terms of making sure the students know who their council members are and how they can help them. Again, it's an academic issue, like an academic related thing that I noticed. A lot of students were emailing the faculty heads when they ran into a problem. If we do a better job of promoting who our year reps are, who the VP academic is, and what channels are available for them to utilize when they do face a problem, I think we can do a better job of being a better student organization.
Another question, I guess. Let's ask anything. VP applications come out tomorrow at 9. What advice would you give to people wanting to apply, or what would you look for in someone who's applying?
Personally, like I mentioned, I wasn't super involved in high school, so don't let that be a barrier for you if you want to get more involved. You can learn a lot on the job very quickly. The one thing that you should definitely consider is the time commitment that it will take, whether it's replying to emails or meeting faculty or staff. Make sure the motivation for getting more involved is like, you really want to do it, you're passionate about it, because then it will feel like a job if you're not passionate about it. If you're passionate about it, then you're actually going to want to make a change, and you'll go above and beyond what's necessary for you to do that thing. And also have a plan. Anything you want to implement, make sure it's feasible and it also aligns with some of the goals, some of the broader goals and objectives of what Western engineering wants to be like over the next few years. So new initiatives are always great as long as it serves the best interest of all students. But I'm willing to work with all the execs, the upcoming execs, to make sure that we do have that plan and that it's feasible whatever we choose to do. Yes.
Are you at all worried about the time commitment that comes with being president?
That's something that I've been thinking about for a while before I committed to this position. This year I was VP Academic, which is very heavy in terms of the amount of time you need to attend all the meetings, chair the committees, and then academic issues that just come out of the nowhere that you didn't really plan for. I'm also the co-president of the Western Society for Civil Engineering. So those two combined, I also volunteer like on the side. Those two combined alone took up a decent amount of my time this year and it continues to do so. But I think I've done a decent job of managing things, whether it's using Google Calendar, Google Drive, and having 2 or 3 notifications for each event on my phone so I don't forget things. Setting reminders and those kind of things. The other thing is I'm also planning on taking one of my courses for next year over the summer, so I have a reduced course load. And I'm not committing to anything else except for UES, and I'm also on the organizing committee for CFES. But I think my position on the CFES organizing committee is the communication portfolio. It's not very heavy until close to the conference, and the conference is first week of January, so it shouldn't really affect my work as UES president. If anything, I think it will facilitate and help us bring UES closer to the organizing committee with CFES.